What we're showing here is an analog experiment on a rotating tank with ice in the middle to simulate our pole and show that we can produce weather patterns like you see from a satellite image.
A lot of people think like mathematics is just numbers, but it's not. It's not about numbers so much as it is about abstract patterns. Mathematics, in a sense, is a language that describes the natural world. The mathematics itself can show you how intricate the world is.
The moving power of mathematical invention is not reasoning, but imagination. And if you think of mathematics as all formula, you've just got the wrong picture. So I always tell my students, if you want something that really stretches your creativity, if you're looking for a creative outlet, mathematics is one of the subjects that will really do that.
Now I'll be adding some dye, some blue dye to show where the cold water is coming from, or the cold air, and red to show where the warm air or water is coming from.
I think some of the best mathematicians are actually very creative people who don't just read something in a book and understand it, but sit with an idea and explore the consequences of that idea and experiment, try something.
When I add this dye, you'll be able to see the same sorts of swirls that you see in the cloud images from satellites, but in the dye at this tabletop experiment.
You're trying to look at patterns, see connections between them, because mathematics is the essence of modern science. And if you want to be a liberally educated person, you ought to understand, wouldn't you, the fundamentals of all of modern science, which at its core is mathematics.
I'll add the blue dye at the center to show where the cold water is circulating towards. And likewise, the red dye will show us where the warm water from the outside is circulating in.
I like to encourage students not primarily to ask the question, what am I going to do with the major? The better question to ask is, what is the major going to do with me? How is it going to help shape me? How is it going to help create a thinking, critical person that can contribute to society?
The Earth, just like this tank, has a cold source of heat removal at the pole, where these swirls are gaining their energy. They're gaining the wind energy from the temperature difference from the equator to the pole. In the same manner, you see this in the satellite imagery, these characteristic swirling patterns, which also show up in regions where there are cloud covers. So these are our characteristic size of our storm systems in the mid-latitudes.
It's important that you choose something that you have a passion for and that's challenging to you. And then God will fit you into a career where you can use your training and gifts. That's the reason for being educated in the first place. Not for personal gain, although that comes sort of as a bonus, but you do it for personal service, for service to your King.